Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Gen Z Auto. We have a special treat for you today. We are set in a 2021 Audi A6. Now, let's get into some discussion and talking points. First of all, as you can see, we're set up pretty nice triple tone interior. We have black dashboard, nice wood grain, matte aluminum and polished, very polished gloss black. And it on first glance, it doesn't, on paper it probably wouldn't sound like it makes sense, but in person, especially with this light material, it definitely it looks really nice. Again, I kind of want to start with just how it makes me feel when I drive, and it makes me feel like I'm just going from point A to point B. I was telling Gabe that this car, I struggle to feel the character in this car. When I say that, when we're in the A5, that car is, it has a sporty heritage and a sporty character about it. It wants to, it loves to turn. Even on the base model, the A5, it has a really good pickup and relatively nimble. But this car, it's not like it's super sporty, and it's not trying to overwhelm me with a massive amount of luxury. It's kind of minimal in that sense, but it's just very comfortable. Nothing really that shouts out, that says I'm here, I'm this. The only thing I can probably say is the inside does look very tech savvy and futuristic with the screens, but as we talked about before in the new A5s, I'm not really a big fan of all these screens. It doesn't make a lot of sense for the driver to have screens that I have to touch to interact with. I would much rather have a knob or a dial or a pad or something that I can engage with when I want to make selections on the vehicle. But all in all, it's fine. But let's compare it to the A5, because in my opinion, that's the closest. The margin is much closer between the A5 and the A6 than it is between the A6 and the A7. So A5, especially the Sportback, you're getting 4 doors. A6, you're getting 4 doors. All right, that's the biggest comparison right there. Now, in my opinion, the A5 is much more focused as a vehicle than the A6. This is kind of like, it's in the middle of the run. It's not really super luxurious like an A7 is, but it's more luxurious than the A5. But it's not as sporty as the A5. But I don't know. It's a nice car. But I'll say this, the one point I will give this is that you'll see, for every 7 A5s you'll probably see 1 A6. And I would go even further to say I've seen more RS6 Avants than I have this specific A6. I'm not joking on the road. In Greenville, where we're based out of, I've seen more RS6 Avants than I've seen 4-door A6. But then, as far as the weight and power goes, I would much rather have, especially the way this one's spec'd, I would much rather have an A5. You're getting the same power plant, but about 400 pounds lighter. And you can feel every pound, especially with that inline turbo 4-cylinder. It's so much more noticeable, the weight in this than it is in the A5. You can feel how heavy it is on the pickup. It's good, it's solid, but it's not turning over as fast as it was in the A5. Space, Up here, I mean, Gabe's with me. Up here, I think the space is pretty compatible. I don't feel like it's any smaller or any bigger. I feel about the same as I was in the A5. I guess it's a little nicer. It has some features that I don't think was standard, such as the rider aids, the lane keep, the adaptive cruise control. This car will stay in the lane, which is pretty cool. But I found it to be overly intrusive for anything other than highway driving. I mean, this thing will jerk the wheel if it feels like you're going outside of your lane. But yeah, and for me, if you're saying, hey, I want a four-door sedan from Audi that's a luxury car, and I'm not trying to break the bank, it's going to be A5 for me. But I'll say, if you're just that that man or woman that just wants the extra space and doesn't want to be another A5 driver on the road, yeah, A6 will probably work for you, because you don't see a lot of these. All right, so now let's compare it to an A7. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I haven't driven a 2021 A7 yet. We can get that. It's got a nice pickup, solid. But I haven't personally driven a 2021 A7 yet, but I have been in one, and I've seen the features, and it is an ultimate luxury. It's like Audi's flagship luxury automobile right now. Over the RS7, I mean not the RS7, but over the R8, and I'll probably say even over the Q8. The A7 is like Audi's flagship car as far as luxury and the full package goes. And the way this one's optioned out, you're coming at right around 58K. And then the A7s, they're starting at around 67K. So for an extra, give or take 10,000, and when you're spending, 60,000, what is 10,000 more? But for extra, 7 to 10,000, you're getting the flagship car from Audi. You're getting the luxury, you're getting, the sports, you're getting the road presence, the uniqueness that A7 is going to carry. And it just makes more sense. It's just a much more focused vehicle. Like this one, I mean, this would be a nice, in my opinion, and this is just my personal opinion, because this is an A6. It's nothing like crazy about it. But in my personal, I would love, this would be a nice car for my grandmother. It has nice features. It's safe. It's super safe. You're not going to have any problems with it. It's a lot going on with the tech. But for an older woman who just wants something nice, that is different, and you just want to experience an Audi for the first time, I guess, maybe this will fit. But again, for my money, I would much rather have an A5 or A7, because this isn't for somebody who's technically savvy. This is not going to woo you. This is going to frustrate you very quickly, this setup. So it's not something that you're gonna love to deal with every day, even if you're technically savvy. You're not gonna love trying to, map your finger to an area on a screen that has no interaction, like other than a small click. That's not gonna woo you. But for somebody who's just, wants to have something nice and fancy, sure, this is nice. But the options that do come on this car are the sport package, which means nothing in my opinion, and it comes with the convenience package. So sport package, it gives you the sport suspension and 20-inch wheels and all-season tires. But I mean, we are working with less than 300 horsepower here, guys. Like, give me more power. Sport suspension, okay, that's cute, but I mean, this car weighs so much, like, let's take some weight out or give me more power. Like, I don't really need to know, like, that means nothing in the sense of, like, sportiness almost at this weight. Like, I need more power to complement that suspension. and I can feel it. I mean, it's. But then again, it's like this is not a sports car, so if I'm comparing this sports suspension to a true sports car, it's plush like a mattress. So whatever. I do like the 20-inch wheels, but I mean, again, if we're comparing it to an A7, I think 20 inches is standard. So it's like, okay, convenience package is a must. Being able to interact with the car without the key, getting in and out, those kind of things. But yeah. All right, so guys, I'm not gonna lie. And when it comes to cars, I'm extremely biased to the driving dynamics, but I know everyone is not interested in how the car drives. Some people buy the car because of how it operates and the internal features. So that's what we're going to go over. So while this touchscreen is extremely annoying to drive and operate, at a standstill, it's very, very responsive and nice to work with. As you can see, as I touch it, it reacts, and that's awesome. It's kind of meant to mimic a smart device like a tablet or a phone. Obviously, we have Apple CarPlay. The cool thing about this setup is that it's wireless. It doesn't require you to have your phone plugged into the car to engage Apple CarPlay, which is cool. But also you can go and we have, just a standard Audi user interface. And kind of like your phone, you can swipe the top down. It has notifications there. This car has Wi-Fi, but let's just go to settings, see what we have. So we have everything from just general settings, things that you would need to calibrate or configure the car how you want, to Wi-Fi, sound, navigation settings, so the settings that you would normally expect. But one thing that Gabe and I found out is that we can adjust the we can design basically our virtual cockpit from the settings. So let's start in standard virtual cockpit, nothing special. But then we can switch to sport, and it gives us a red line. All right, that's cool. Nothing really crazy. But we have dynamic virtual cockpit configuration, and then we get our Audi Sport virtual. And to me, this is so cool because this is kind of the same setup that you would see in an R8, something like that, in your A6, base model. So that's kind of cool. But let's go back to the center console and go over, what we can expect to see as an owner. So, this is where we're going to be at for our Apple users, but I'm pretty sure this has Android Auto too. But as I get in the car, this is what I want to see. I'm not really looking forward to seeing this. It's cool, it's necessary to have, but just give me Apple CarPlay. Now, our bottom screen is kind of I would say our temperature control unit. Anything that has to do with adjusting temperature or comfort or climate, you're going to find right here. You can obviously find if we click this button, some information comes up on this screen, but all in all, we're controlling the climate with just the screen. So we have obviously dual climate control, heated seats, everything you're going to find with your climate is going to be down here. The only thing that I can say is that you may not find in this screen is kind of your garage opener. When you're calibrating your garage opener, probably it's going to come up. It's going to show up down here, but everything else is climate for here. And then we have our driver select button. This car is full of rider aids, driving aids. It gives you everything from distance warning to Audi presence, side assist, lane departure, exit warning, and that's the maximum. And then you can also choose the basic, which is just Audi presence. So that's kind of all I really need.
But yeah, guys, I think that's going to be it for the Audi A6. It's a solid car. Um, if you're looking for an Audi and you don't want to spend the extra $7,000 to $10,000 for an A7, and you need more space, than an A5 gives Sportback, I think the Audi A6 is for you. But I would encourage you heavily to look into an A5 or A7 if you're thinking about this car. There's a reason you don't see a lot of these on the road, and I think it's just it really doesn't have a place for the modern, especially in our generation, for Gen Z. I don't really think it has a place for our generation of car buyers, because if you're gonna buy an A6, you might as well buy like a X7, a crossover with little bit more capabilities for around the same price, or I'm not an X7 but an X4 I'm in. But yeah, other than that, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Guys, thanks for tuning in. That's going to be it for us, but I will close the episode with this. We have a surprise. I don't know, we haven't given any hints yet on what it is, but let's just say we added a new family member to the garage. But yeah, thanks guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Next year will be a big year for us, and we're gonna bring a lot of new hot stuff to YouTube. So yeah, we'll see you next time. All right, peace.